Joshi, hi Mayuresh, good afternoon. What's your take? People were wondering whether Vodafone will survive, not survive. What is the story out there? In the meanwhile, last 3 years, Bharti has gone up almost 3x. Would you believe now it's time to take that punt and buy Vodafone idea or just stay? You want to play Telecom, stick to Reliance, stick to Bharti Airtel?
Afternoon, Nigel. I think we don't like taking punts at markets with India. More or less stay with the short stories where earnings growth probably remains strong. And therefore, I think Bharti as a story is a structural story in play. Obviously, I think the ARPU increases that are expected to happen over the next few quarters will very well continue. And with ARPU increases, you're obviously going to see a lot more happen in terms of both the revenue market share, the subscriber market share being stable. And therefore, I think the kind of numbers that will keep on coming in for Bharti Airtel will be relatively better. The second aspect, obviously, is in terms of their core growth dynamics in key markets itself. And therefore, I think with a lot of capex already having been done, with ARPU increases, cash flows probably improving, the net debt to EBITDA levels are expected to come lower as well, which creates the cash flow support that the balance sheet probably needs. So in our opinion, again, I think it's a structural story. I think the stock has obviously moved significantly higher. But again, I think both Bharti Airtel and Bharti Hexacom, the rating, rankings, institutional holding, look very solid, and there looks earning stability in place over the next few quarters in terms of visibility. So I think we continue holding both these stocks, both in our local and global portfolios.
Okay, all right. Mayuresh, I wanted your view on KNR Constructions. The market cap that I saw is, I think, close to around 6,000 crores. The order win is more than 4,000 crores. May not be the ideal way to look at it, but it's telling you the kind of size of the order that they won. And that's why KNR Constructions is now up 10%. Any view on this name or something you like from this space?
So it's a very interesting stock, Nigel. And again, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, there were some regulatory concerns which had cropped up for this one in the past few months. But generally, I think if you look at the order book, I think well diversified, both in terms of EPC, roads, irrigation as well. And therefore, I think if you probably have a construct in terms of road companies, the kind of IRRs that they can deliver going forward, I think that can be stellar. At the same time, if you're looking from a balance sheet perspective for KNR, I think very, very clean balance sheet, almost net debt zero on a net basis. ROEs have shown significant amount of improvement. EBITDA margins have shown significant amount of stability. And I think a large part of the work orders, if they're able to complete before time, I think the kind of completion bonuses that accrue onto the balance sheet are significant as well. So from a balance sheet perspective, healthy balance sheet, it's obviously corrected significantly, as have a lot of other road companies as well, including the likes of PNC Infratech as an example. But I think both these stocks, KNR and PNC Infratech, have all the tailwinds that are there behind them. Good order wins, better margin, and a very, very strong balance sheet.
Mayuresh, I wanted your view on Dixon Technologies. Yes, longer term story is good. There's going to be, they have fairly good return ratios. The problem is on the margins. And just a couple of sessions ago, the promoter entity went and reduced some stake a couple of percentage points. Now there's also some diversification from one of their key customers. Stock is down 2.5%. Buying opportunity, or it's way too expensive for your liking?
No, I think it is expensive in the first place, Nigel. And I think we will wait for further declines on this stock. Obviously, I think the product innovations that Dixon is probably bringing about will start accruing results over the next few quarters. But we'd like to ideally see in real earnest how the ODM is probably shaping up. Because as we all know, ODM is where I think the margin improvement will take place on the balance sheet. And therefore, as the proportionality of ODM starts increasing in terms of the product mix and in terms of the revenue share as well, that is where the margin expansion will come from. And as margin expansion starts coming through, I think that will translate into better numbers on the bottom line and better EPS growth. It's not that they are not having stable and strong earnings growth as we speak, but I think for more re-rating on that stock to happen, or for a more structural re-rating, I think that ODM component has to come through. So I think expensive, above pivot levels as we see it, the price action is probably correcting as we see it as well. And therefore, I think we will wait and watch for better levels to probably get it.
Mayuresh, any thoughts on these amine stocks, Balaji, Alkyl?
No, so to a large extent, Prashant, I think the moves have been stellar over the past few days. I think they're moving in terms of expectations that will probably come through. And the expectation largely, Prashant, is that DGTR is expected to approve anti-dumping for acetonitrile. Now, with that probably happens, acetonitrile prices, which have remained muted for a large part of the prevailing few quarters at around 140, 150 rupees per kilo, because of heavy dumping from Chinese manufacturers. I think that might create a fillip in terms of all these stocks. Again, I think because of Chinese dumping, a lot of products, whether it's methylamine or ethylamine, which is a large part of alkyl, certain elements of Balaji as well, because of their expansion, has come under pressure because of pricing and demand supply issues. So I think it's all, in my opinion, of expectations of their anti-dumping on acetone.
Technical call on Dixon?
Afternoon, Ekta. No, again, I think for Dixon, I think the structural improvement will only come through the ODM side of the business. Obviously, I think in terms of the earnings trajectory and the earnings matrix itself, they have been executing well over the past few quarters. So execution is not going to be an issue in terms of new clients, the new products that are getting into the PLI schemes announced by the government as a tailwind. However, I think if margin expansion has to happen, that has to happen with the ODM contracts, which is going to take time. They're trying to ramp up their ODM business. Otherwise, it's going to be that mid-single digit business as far as their core operations are concerned. And the valuations that the markets are giving to Dixon at this juncture largely incorporate strong earnings growth expected to come through. But I think the re-rating will only happen as the ODM component starts improving, which is obviously going to take time. So I think we will bide our time on Dixon as we speak.
Okay, all right. Got that call then on Dixon. But let's focus on NSE. They have filed a settlement application with SEBI to resolve the co-location case as per sources. Now, if SEBI approves the offer, it could clear the way for NSE to launch its much-awaited IPO. Yash is the one who's picking up all of those details. This IPO, they've priced it actually attractively. The counter-argument will be some of the listed players with maybe a little bit return ratios are available at a cheaper valuation on a price to book. What is your take first on the IPO, and do you believe there's any other stock that you like from this space itself?
I think they have positioned it well, Nigel. No two ways about it. And again, I think the management was very, very clear in the interview that they've probably given in terms of the business outlook going ahead as well. So there is a lot of scope as far as financial services as a domain is concerned. And that part of the business is nothing to do with the bank, but retail lending itself. And as disposable incomes improve quite significantly for India over the next few years, both urban, semi-urban and rural, I think there is going to be significant amount of growth that can probably come through. So I think very, very interesting IPO that is being put out by HDB Financials. I think within the same space itself, I think we continue holding some stocks like Chola as an example of the Shriram Finance as leading NBFCs, where our take is that the growth will continue for both these stories combined together based on the same rationale that we've already put through. And again, I think with better capital adequacies, with better managements, with a better corporate house at the helm, I think the kind of credit ratings that they probably get absolutely reflect in terms of financials. So I think in terms of cyclical times, I think they know how to sustain their business, and in good times, they know how to ride their business. So I think Chola Shriram might actually do well in an upside.